FM.
Before we get started, we should explain how you know each other. Obviously, you're my cousin, so
Yeah,
yeah. So thank you for coming, George.
that's okay. Thanks for having me. Yeah, no.
So as I do with all these interviews, can you start off by introducing yourself?
Yeah, so my name's George. I'm originally from Chichester. I'm currently studying at the University of Manchester, studying computer science. Here to speak to Peter about my sports. And yeah, my main sport is rugby. I've been playing it since I was 6 years old. And yeah, we're going into this is probably my last season of rugby. I'm thinking of taking retiring from the sport, if you want to say that, and yeah, maybe looking into other sports.
Yeah. So obviously you said rugby was your main sport. Did you do any other sports growing up?
I played a bit of cricket in summer. I think rugby was the first one that really, my dad said, would you like to have a go at it? And it's the first one that I really, liked. Training every Sunday from under sixes. Made some really good friends. Yeah, that and cricket, a bit of cricket, but it was mainly rugby going through school.
Yeah. So why rugby out of the two?
Because I don't know, I just think I liked watching rugby. My dad liked watching rugby, so I think I remember I think it was England. It was an England New Zealand game. I wouldn't know what year, but I remember we were watching it. It's like, oh, do you want to have a go at that? And we had one of my primary school friends was at Havant Rugby Club, which is the team I ended up joining, and I was there from under sixes. And yeah, I just think I liked it straight away. I think it all started with tag rugby, and then the later years went into contact. And I think I just made some good friends early, and yeah, really enjoyed it. That's probably the team sort of camaraderie of rugby. I think was one of the main reasons probably that I stuck with it.
And you said you played cricket in the summer. When did cricket sort of stop and then rugby take over?
I think I think it must have been midway through school. Maybe I was about 15, 16. I enjoyed cricket, but I think I was better at rugby, first of all. And second of all, I think, I maybe had better friends at rugby, and maybe I hadn't had as good friends playing cricket. And I just preferred playing rugby. It was at that point I would have been playing like county and academy rugby, so it was just I didn't really care for much for cricket, to be fair, at that point.
Yeah, it's a bit freaky listening to you because you sound very much like your dad.
Really?
It's like Uncle Keith, so it's a bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, people keep saying that more and more.
Yeah, it's very, very. I'm sure when he watches this, he'll be delighted.
Yeah.
So going through your rugby career, I couldn't find anything, but obviously I know you quite well. So tell us your journey in the sport. So you started when you were 6 years old. When did you get picked up to go on to the sort of like higher level of rugby?
Yeah, so I think my first sort of introduction to maybe going to further steps was I was at Bishop Lofer School, which is in West Sussex, and my coach put me towards Harlequins trials. And I remember I got really fit for that, worked really hard, and in the end I didn't actually get into Harlequins trials. But then a month later, because my club was in Hampshire, Hampshire's team was London Irish, so I got put forward for trials for that, and I did get into London Irish academy, and yeah, that was fun, just training at a high level. And then I think it must have been a year later was when county rugby started in my age group, and I played for Hampshire, which was just more games against other counties, just playing at a high level, higher standard of rugby. And then throughout this time, I'd be playing for Havant every weekly, and I think that was those playing for Havant. We were one of the best teams in our county and our league, and we would always be pushing for titles and league championships. So I think that was like the most competitive team I was a part of, and we got good success with that, having some good national cup runs, which I really enjoyed being a part of.
And so how did you juggle the sport with schoolwork? I know I think your mum and dad was really academic, trying to push you towards everything possible. So how did you manage to do juggle them both quite well?
I think when I was playing for Havant, it was sort of maybe towards like when the exams. The thing about rugby is winter sports. I don't think when exams would be happening, it would be the off season. So I don't think it would be, because off seasons would start in summer, so it wouldn't really, to my memory, be that much. To be fair, I think when I was doing like county, London Irish, and Havant, that was a lot of time being spent like just going to different trainings. We trained at HMS Temeraire in Portsmouth, and then sometimes we'd have training sessions in London Irish, like training ground, and I think that got a bit hectic. But I never got like as far as some of my other friends in London Irish, so I don't think it took too much out of my time compared to them. But like at uni now, I'm finding a balance with rugby and learning. I just think I've enjoyed playing rugby. It is a commitment, but I'm glad I've like done it alongside my studies whenever I've done it, just because I think it's good to have something else you're focusing on other than school work.
And in your career rugby, what awards did you get? You did some team, and then you got some individual, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. We had some. I think we won the county championship as Havant won county championship 1 year. I think it must have been when we were under 15s or under 16s. Personal awards. In my school, because I'd like represented like the county and London Irish, I think I got like a special achievement award for sport because of that. And yeah, we had some good runs in some good county runs. I think we got to the quarterfinals of the national cups with Havant in under 16s, and in Colts rugby we won the league championship. I think the 2 years that I was there, and also this season for University of Manchester threes, which I'm captaining this year. We are undefeated season, and we've got our last game tomorrow actually to decide if we go up or not. So had some good achievements.
And so you had to move to university in Manchester. You presumably joined the rugby club when you first went, and when you completed in Bucks. How did that go for you?
Yeah, so in our first year, I was the first year when COVID happened. So our first season was, we had one free for the whole year and hardly any training. So that was a bit annoying. And I think last year we had a good season, but this year we've gone undefeated. We've won every game, and we've got our last game tomorrow against Lancaster Threes, and we should get relegated. Everything willing, I think we've got a good chance to get not relegated, sorry, promoted. I think we've got a good chance to get promoted. So I think that would be good. I don't think all the people at the club at the moment, no one's ever been in the club when a team's got promoted. So we'll be the first for everyone. So I think and especially me and my coach, I've got another student is coaching the team. We both will find like we'll both celebrate if we do get that promotion, because we put a lot of time and dedication into the players. So yeah, no, I think that would all be worthwhile.
Yeah, and growing up, I know you and Polly, your sister, she did swimming and you did rugby. Parents take your place and then go, oh, I've got to go here that day, I've got to go that way. Oh, Polly's got this and that on that day. Must have been quite a hectic household.
Yeah, I think my dad mostly did the rugby, and my mum mostly did the swimming. I don't know why that was the decision, but I think I didn't even ever feel pushed into playing sport, but I think they did try and like guide us into playing sport, and I'm glad they did, like because I think sport is just something like great every kid should get into and try and find a sport that they really enjoy. So I'm glad they did, and they never grumbled about taking. Like we'd go to the New Forest, and from like Havant, that would be like sometimes a 2 hour journey. So um, yeah, long car journeys, but my dad never grumbled on a Sunday morning, even when it was chucking it down with rain outside. He didn't grumble, which just happens a lot in the winter down south. So
Yeah, I mean, it's always very, very pleased with progress. I mean, it often tells. Yeah, and and then surprisingly, our our grandmother, Naomi, she went to some of yours, even when it was freezing cold. And people like to have like electric blankets or whatever. No, she will always be there, standing up with an umbrella, going, "Go on, George."
yeah.
Yes. So
Yes, yeah. Even when she was like in her 90s, I remember her being on the sideline next to my dad, just like all wrapped up warm, just watching the game. No, that was really nice.
yeah, very nice memory. And yeah, so what's your degree in at uni?
Computer science. So yeah,
Oh,
bachelor's in computer science.
something completely different to sport then.
Yeah, no.
So what sort of jobs can you get with that degree? After you
Um,
graduate.
I'm sort yeah, I'm sort of looking into some more like software engineering at the moment. Yeah, I think software engineer graduate schemes um, is the main thing I'm interested in. Just like, yeah, programming, anything programming related would be right up my stream, something I enjoy, which is good.
Well, I should hope so because that's probably going to go towards your dream of being a billionaire by the time you're 30.
Yeah.
So,
That's the goal anyway.
was that the reason behind doing computer science? More money?
Um, well, it's probably definitely been a driving factor. I don't know, like I remember my mum just saying, "Oh yeah, you should," like nudging me, being like, "Oh, that would be good to go into." Like, there's a lot of money in that. And then I think I did it, and I was like, "This is actually pretty fun." Like the coding side of things. I think a lot of people don't really get it, but you can kind of make like in my project, I'm making my own like cryptocurrency. So like I've been able to get like really creative with that, and like yeah, no, it's just quite. I just find it a really interesting topic, to be fair.
And so you mentioned have you retired now, or are you getting to that retirement stage at the moment?
Well, so we had the last game I played was against Man Met in the league, which is our rivals, and I got injured about halfway through. I think Jimmy and your mum was watching actually, but I got I took a line of 10 and I just ran in. The guy, it was a great tackle to be fair, but he dumped me and dropped me on my shoulder, and I've had a lot of trouble with my shoulder because I favour it in tackles and stuff like that. Um, and I landed on it, and I was just, oh no, I'm done. And then I think I was thinking about this would be my last year of rugby, like in the middle of the season, just because I thought, you know, head injuries. I had a head injury this season, and like I just think, and like everyone gets injured in rugby, and I I feel sore after games, like not like I used to. I sound like an old man, but especially the head injuries, I think it's just like yeah, probably not the best idea to carry on when I'm working. If I just get a bang to the head, my
Yeah,
brain wouldn't be working for 2 weeks, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, yeah, fair enough. So, what's the future looking like for you? I mean, obviously, rugby's not going to be a part of it, but What's your future? Oh, obviously, you're being there by 30. That's probably one of the goals. But what's the future looking like for you with Everpin?
Well, I think, well, firstly, sport I can talk about a little bit, just because I a couple of my housemates at uni, they're into their golf a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I played a few rounds with them. Like actually, Nanny Irene gave my dad a set of golf clubs. I don't know if you know about this. And dad never played golf in his life properly, you know. So
Yeah.
so I've just taken them up to uni with me. He just said, "Oh yeah, you can take them." So I've been using them, and yeah, it's a bit less stress on your body than rugby, I think. So I think that something like that, or I don't know, maybe tennis, just to keep active, I think would be like a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because your dad was telling my mum a few weeks ago about or last year or something like that. But I was remember him saying, "Oh, well, we got I buy a load of stuff for people. It gets stuck in the back of a cupboard, and then 4 years later you find them and go, oh, that bit memories for George or Polly or whatever, sort of thing.
Yeah.
They were meant to be Christmas presents 5 years ago or something. Yeah, so the golf clubs never got news, but it's good
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing it now. So
Well, yeah, no. Well, I'm glad I've got a set of golf clubs for free. Like,
yeah,
so I'm glad that Nanny did that. You know, like,
yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, so what do you wish for rugby? What's the future looking like for rugby in general, in terms of university
yeah.
and
What for me personally, or do you reckon the just all
yeah,
rugby?
the sport of rugby? Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but there's new laws coming in about the body height in rugby. So they're changing the laws next season, and there's a lot of controversy around it and backlash about it's so no. I think it's no tackling uh, above the hips, which is a lot lower than usual, and no dipping into tackles. So when you're running with the ball, no like dropping a shoulder into the tackle, which I think will just completely change the game. I know that I get that obviously head injuries is a big problem with rugby, and they're trying to do that. So I do understand, but I don't know how how careful you can be with a sport like rugby. I think everyone that plays it kind of understands that, these big collisions, like all the professionals are just massive human beings,
yeah,
and everyone understands that. Yeah, in rugby you might get a bit injured and hurt,
yeah.
and like it's all about good tackle technique. You can make it as safe as you like, and it will still be a dangerous sport, rugby. So I think I think if I was to carry on rugby, it would be. I'm glad, like, with these new laws coming in next season, it's kind of a good time for me to like say, that's enough, because you'd have to relearn like the whole You have to relearn how to tackle basically, and I just think, um, I think, yeah, that's all wrong. But then again, like the World Cup is this year in France, which would be good. So there's some positives as well. Obviously, Six Nations has been going on at the moment. England had a rocky start, but we're doing all right now. Still a chance for us to win. I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, have you? The Six Nations.
No, well, rugby's not my forte, but I'm pretty sure the person at the radio station will probably be saying to me, "You're a sport journalist. You should know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
sports." No. So yeah, no, rugby, no. No,
Fair enough.
I'll just leave that to you and the professionals, really. But no, so if you have carried on, would you want to get that to England level? I mean, didn't you have a trial at one point with England?
I think no, I had trial with like so with county you go county rugby, and then it's sort of like southeast England, and then you go England from there. And I think I had sort of like an open trial with southeast England, or like yeah, like everyone at Hampshire was kind of looked at to go to the next stage, but I never really got that far. I mean, I think if I stayed more in rugby, I don't think I'd be playing. Like I've as a part of my responsibilities as threes captain has been like leading a lot of training sessions, and I've really enjoyed like the coaching side of things. So I may be thinking about maybe like going into coaching at some point, or refereeing as well. That's like doing a referee's course and something like that. So I don't know, I think rugby will always stay my favourite sport, I think. So like anything to do with it would be good, yeah.
So, I mean, would that be some sort of side project? Obviously, you've got computer science, but would you do a bit on the side, coaching?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, like yeah, a bit of coaching. I mean, if I stayed up in Manchester for work or anything like that, I could help out with the university, even though I wouldn't be playing. You know, I know all the line out calls. I think I know I've got a bit of knowledge about forwards, like considering I've got a bit of experience. So I don't know, maybe I could be helpful. But yeah, we'll see, I guess.
And what position do you play in rugby?
So sort of like I'm a forward, but so sort of like flanker, number 8 or second row. I think I started off. I've always been a forward, but I kind of started off in the flanker when I was a bit more fast and nimble, and then I kind of went in the second row, which I probably it's probably my preferred position. But this season I've actually been playing number 8 for the threes, and scored some tries this season. I think I've scored 5 tries this season. So I know I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been one of the funnest seasons I've had, just because you know box sport is just a different level, and like yeah, going undefeated is, yeah, you know, you can't argue with that.
No, you can't. No. Yeah, that's everything. Is there anything else you might want to add that might be useful or anything?
Not to my no, not really, actually. Thank you for having me. Thanks for asking questions.
That's all. Yeah, and well, thank you for coming on. I'll just stop recording, but thank you for coming.
Thank you. Cheers.
Stop.
Voice. Let's go. Voice FM.